do the bad thing. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Hour number 2 of the big show. Hour number 2, and I think we've got the lovely and talented Samantha.
Hello.
And I think we may have our guests for the next segment here on our big broadcast. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Jiggy Jaguar Experience, iHeartRadio, and also AMFM247.com. We have 2 incredible guests with us today here on our big program. Before we get to them, we want to talk about our circus that we're going to be involved in next week out there in Kansas City, Kansas, of all places. I was going to say Overland Park because that's where it is, but it's much cooler to say Kansas City. It's kind of like, Samantha, here in July, we're going to be going to Exotica in Chicago. It's actually in Rosemont, Illinois, but it's sexier to say Chicago. And it's much easier to say Kansas City rather than Overland Park. And that is next week. We have details on our website at kjagradio.com for that. And we have 2 great guests joining us today here on our broadcast. And they are going to be part of Exotica as well. And Lawrence, I want to start with you. How are you, my friend?
Oh, doing good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, actually. My lord, with that voice, you could do radio voiceovers.
Yeah.
I do a lot of voiceovers, and
you could do voiceovers, audiobooks. You could be the new voice of CNN. You could do all sorts of things.
That's right. This is CNN.
There you go. There you go. And Cassie, how are you, my friend?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good, actually. So you 2 are involved in all sorts of things. I know that you guys have done the Exotica events and things in the past. Tell us a little bit about your work with Exotica.
Wow. So Exotica actually started by accident. We were at Sex Expo in Brooklyn, and actually, I was at Sex Expo in Brooklyn, and I made friends with Ashley Fires from Clips for Sale. And she said, hey, come to New Jersey. I'll be in New Jersey. And I was like, well, what are we doing in New Jersey? And that's kind of how I got introduced to Exotica. We showed up in Jersey, hung out in the Clips booth, and that's kind of how it started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you also are an author of erotica.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about your writing background and everything.
So the writing started, back in 2008, 2009. It was just sort of therapeutic at first. And then I started sharing stories with friends, and believe it or not, a lot of my male friends were the ones who said, yeah, you should do more of this. And so it just sort of picked up from there. And then I met Lorenzo, and he says, let's get this stuff published. And kind of, again, the rest is history. I started publishing the stories, and one thing led to another.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. So what motivated you to look at her erotica and everything and say we need to get this stuff published?
Well, knowing Casey, she has a lot of talent, and she was keeping a lot of things to herself. The world needed to see this. And, with some of the things that were out there, it's like, no, your stuff is a lot better than this, so let's get it out there to the world, And that's how it started, A lot of her stories that she already had, we collaborated on one of her stories, John, which is a life story, per se, of an individual that you may be talking to now. So we did that. And, it's the work was very incredible that she has done, along with her colors of the rainbow. If you go on her site, you'll see the spectrum of colors. And this was a format that she did her stories off of. So everything kind of played together like that. And I just wanted her to put her stuff out there for the world, you know.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, you guys also you've got a series of websites. Mention the different websites so people can go check those out.
Well, primarily we have Dash Carter, Casey-Carter.com, and
Okay.
there you'll find links to interviews and the content, clip content. But I think what is probably between Lorenzo and I the biggest project, aside from John, where again on the website Casey-Carter.com, you can find links to the books. But our latest project, which is something we called Safety Tips featuring Lorenzo, is something that we share on YouTube. And it started off as conversations between he and I about some of the things that we see people doing on the internet, some of the things we see them doing wrong on the internet that create safety issues. Then, of course, you go to Exotica and you see these young ladies put themselves sometimes at risk. And it was this ongoing conversation about what we see wrong. And we see photos on social media sites, on dating sites, where people, if a person knew that they were giving identification to where they're located, they might not post some of the pictures that they post. So we launched in January this video series that would explain what we see in these pictures and how to avoid making the mistake of basically giving away your location before you're ready.
Yeah, that is one thing. I have had several technology experts and things on, and they talk about how if you're when you take a picture, a lot of times the metadata of your location is included in these photos.
Yeah, and that's the least of it. That's the least of it.
Yeah, this is something that I have over 35 years of law enforcement history, and I was able to locate anybody I want to based off a photo.
Wow.
You'd be surprised where we can track you down from your photos, social media, things like that. So by giving people these tips, there are so many mistakes made. You'd be surprised. And if you go to the YouTube, you'll see some of these things. But it's amazing what people will tell the world and not even know. You know, let's just say one simple thing that is, say when, like Samantha there, say she receives some flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And she displays the flower, but you'll see the company of the flower. You may even see her name on it. So all I have to do is call the company and give them any address and say, I'm mad. My flowers didn't make it. Where did you send them?
Yeah.
Somebody will give me the address where they sent the flowers.
Wow.
Now I know, where she works at and everything. It's just easy ways that the little things that you have to be very wary of. And that's a major project that we've worked on.
Wow. So you guys are also involved. You guys do a lot of creating content through ManyVids and Clips for Sale and some of these sites.
Right.
Talk to us about some of the content that you guys create.
Let's see. I'm a big fan of custom clips, and domination is my favorite. And so I've created a lot of let's just say JOI. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Oh, you
Okay,
can say
that.
whatever you want here, but believe
Okay,
me,
all right.
man, as Samantha likes to say, any given Sunday.
Yes.
Okay, so I've done some jerk off instruction videos. I had one request where the person wanted me to wash their mouth out with soap. Somebody wanted me to do a spit video. I had never done a spit video, so I had to spend some time figuring out what was the best way to do my version of a spit video. So, I placed saran wrap on my phone and spit on my phone, and got a little carried away. You know, and there's been quite a few where people wanted, you know, some bra videos. They wanted to see me in my bra, and then another guy wanted me to pretend to be a police officer and catch him, you know, sneaking into my establishment and make him put the clothes on, the lingerie on. I mean, it really varies.
Wow.
Which is why I say I prefer the custom clips, because if you just ask me to sit around and think of something, I'm like, I really don't feel like that. So I prefer to take requests. I prefer to take requests, because if you left it up to me, I would just smoke cigars and post it up all day. But I don't know that that's going to make me any money. So.
Hey, I'll tell you, years and years ago, my good buddy Ross Long, we were talking about fetishes on the radio show, and we had someone on, I don't remember who it was, and he was talking about how there's all these smoking pervs out there. And I'm like, what? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's a huge business. Dudes pay chicks to smoke cigars and cigarettes and all that.
I did do a Skype chat. I got paid $125 for 15 minutes to smoke a cigar.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good money if you can get it.
For 15 minutes of my time? Oh, wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, you guys are involved in all sorts of different things that we've talked about here. So what is it when you go out to these Exoticas and the AVNs and these? What are you guys doing primarily when you're out at these expos and these events?
Well, let me step in and say, looking at Casey as you do see her, she's like a walking Amazon.
Yes.
So what I'm doing is making sure she's safe. From the beginning, because a lot of these guys like these customs and all this, but in real life,
oh my God, these guys are just out of their minds. I can I get certain looks, and basically I'm just there for her backup on certain things, and and assist in things like that. But you'd be surprised the looks that we get when we go out. The people that want to approach her, that are scared of her, like she may bite, like this, but it's also the risk factor too when you're out well, there. Samantha is going to be doing a red carpet event in July, and she's already got security hired to come.
Yeah, you have to do that. I do a lot of personal security, and you have to do these things. People are crazy.
Now that we know what Lorenzo does when we go to Exotica, because he does what he does, I'm allowed to, have, say, little small moments of domination and, interact with fans. Like, that's probably the biggest fun for me, is interacting with the fans, the people who come to the booth and are like, oh my God. And I'm always like, who are they talking to? Who do they want to see? And then it's always like, oh my God, Casey Carter. And I'm like, oh wait, that's me. Oh yeah. Okay. That's always a treat for me. And I think the people I enjoy the most are the ones who, say, I wanna wear a corset like you. I wanna do this like you. And and I'm always like, it's not that you're gonna do these things like me. It's that you do these things that bring you joy, because that's why I'm in the corset. That's why I'm in the fishnet. I'm right now in this moment having my own little moment of pleasure. You're just here watching me do all of this. This isn't for you. This is all for me. So yeah, it's a lot of that. And then lately it's been the classes. We've done classes at Exotica, Sex Down South, FetCon. We were in Jacksonville doing a class. So that's become a lot of it as well.
Well, now that I know that the porn marks, when they see you out at these events, they go, oh my God. If you guys make it to Exotica in Chicago, I'm gonna make sure to do oh my God, and be talking about Lorenzo.
And I will be sure to make sure to notice.
That's right.
So, and I mean, and I saw you were on the call on Wednesday. So, we know we're not quite sure where Chicago stands right now. So that'll be interesting to
I'll
see.
tell you, at this point, after the 2 years of everything, me and Samantha don't really know what the hell anything stands at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
So, you were recently nominated for some awards. Tell us a little about some of the different
Yeah.
awards that you were nominated for.
Tell them, Casey.
Okay, so I was not nominated for 2 awards. One was for best erotica author, and the other
Yep.
was for best uh, I want to say it was sex educator, but I don't know if it was adult sex educator, but it was for being a sex educator. And that's with ASN Lifestyle magazine, and I write for them every month. That started back in I guess August of last year, and it had been something on a list, a wish list of to be a contributing writer to someone's publication, and I just kind of got hooked in with them, and found that I absolutely loved it, and just kind of struck up a really great relationship with the publisher and the editor. And the next thing I knew, they were like, "Hey, we're about to start nominations for our award show. We just want to make sure and make sure you get folks to nominate you." And sure enough, I had earned enough pre-nominations to get nominated. So
Wow.
ASN Lifestyle magazine, and if you just look for my name, I'm at the top of my 2 categories. So you don't even have to remember what categories I said. Just look for Casey Carter and you'll find me right away, because I'm at the top of the list. But what's been really cool about that is I got asked to teach a workshop at during the awards weekend in Orlando at Top Secret Resort Orlando, and I was also asked to be a presenter. So pretty psyched about all of that, because again, I haven't even been with them an entire year, and this relationship has really flourished in this short time.
That's awesome. Now, Lorenzo, you were talking about, and I am always fascinated by this when I go to these expos, AVNs, all these things. The way some of these porn marks behave in front of these stars and everything. Have you ever run into any situations where you've had to really get nasty with somebody, or do they see you, hear that voice, and go, I think I'm gonna pick another battle, brother?
Yeah.
Before he even answers that question, let me say this. I walk around, hey, hi, how you doing? Hey, hi, how you doing? He's standing maybe 6 feet at most behind me, and he's basically scowling at people. So before they even have a chance to approach, he's already thrown that signal. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I've seen people that thought about it, but it's just not worth the hassle,
Yeah.
And they know when you're about your business, people know just now. Let me just leave that one alone. And so far, it's worked like that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the females go, forget about it.
Forget about it.
They don't care if you have a gun on them. they
Yeah.
and that's the bottom
but
line,
I mean, it's crazy to me. Kimmy Kaboom, and Kimmy Kaboom's thing is the boobs.
Oh, you better believe it. She
Right. So imagine my surprise when she comes reaching for me. I'm like, wait. You got me beat. So why are you coming for me? Or even Norma Stitz, even she comes for me, and I'm like, okay, you got Guinness Book of World Record boobs, So yeah, I think it's that female to female thing. They just feel like they have a license to approach and touch whomever they want to, because it's I'm a girl, you're a girl, I got boobs, you got boobs, I can do that.
Yep.
Nah.
Now imagine this year, after since Casey's on BoobTube with Exotica TV, they're coming for her now. you know.
Well, and this is part of the reason why people like Samantha are hiring security for her for her appearance coming up here for the July weekend when she does her red carpet thing, because just there's going to be all sorts of people that are going to want to.
I tell you that for her also, depending on how the level that she wants to do, because this is what I do. I don't know if she has a female security also. Because where we do security, like for a female, you need one female, because I've had them come into the women's bathrooms and wait. So just wait, because you're going to the bathroom eventually.
Oh, wow.
So it's good to have a female that can clear anywhere that you have to go that a male can't go, you know.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I'm at Exotica, I have to make sure I tell Lawrence, okay, I'm going to the bathroom. And then if I don't come back fast enough, or if, assuming he doesn't go with me, if I don't come back fast enough, he's on his way as I'm finally coming out of the bathroom.
Yeah, then the fire alarm goes, hazmat, CNN, all this, there is no more Exotica at that point. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's when the New York comes out. It's over now,
Well, that is a pretty interesting pro tip there, Samantha. You might need to have female security as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thought. I will definitely bring it up to the team. There's some crazies out there.
I think that makes a difference. We did security for Janet Jackson in D.C. and Michael Jackson, but they were people that dressed up as waitresses, cleaning crew. They took their uniforms. They stayed in the dressing rooms. They stayed in the bathrooms and just waited.
Wow.
Sooner or later, she had to go to the bathroom.
Right.
I don't care if they stayed there for 8 hours. She's coming in eventually.
Jeez, that is something else.
Well, you'd be surprised what people are willing to do. And at Exotica, people do some strange things.
Oh my God. I a couple years ago when we were out in Vegas for the AVNs, Karma RX put something up on her Twitter account about the fact of how many she was going to try to top her record of how many people she was going to have to slug in the face this year for touching her. And I'm like, wow. Are you kidding me? I'm just amazed by. I guess it's just because, just like Cassie said there, I'm female, you're female, so it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they really genuinely think it's okay. I mean, there was one Exotica, and it might have even been the first time we went to Jersey, and we were sitting in the VIP section watching the stage show, and he and I both saw this couple walking toward. They were walking along the outside of the perimeter of the VIP section, but we made eye contact. She smiled, and I smiled back, and she mouthed, are they real? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, can I touch them? I was like, no. That literally blew my mind. And I was like, wait, what? No, you can't touch them.
Just amazing. Well, Samantha, do you have any questions for these two? Because I know you've got all sorts of things going on in your head.
Right. So what's coming up like for the rest of 2021?
So right now we've got, well, of course there's Exotica. I don't know about the front half of Exotica, but the back half of Exotica, we've sort of already locked that in, that being New Jersey and DC. And then in September, we're doing ASN. So we won't be at Exotica Miami because it's literally the same time. And so like right now, that's what we have locked in. And I think that's primarily because we're waiting to see what the world will look like in the second half of the year. If this was a regular, normal year, we probably would be throwing a party, whether here in Atlanta or in the DC area. 2 years ago, I did my 50th birthday party in June at a fetish ball in December. And to this day, they're still talked about as like two of the best parties that happened in Atlanta.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what. Hey, 50 is a great year. I'm turning 40 this year, so when you hit those kind of ages, it's like, hey, you know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That is great. So something else that you guys do is you do these parties and things. Take us through some of how that works and everything.
If you look at Casey's line on Twitter, there's a pinned tweet
I
that
saw
has
that, and I
yeah.
was and I was like,
That
well,
was
we've got
that's
to
my
get more
birthday party,
information.
right? That's the birthday
No,
party.
that one I
Is
think
that
is
the
the fetish ball.
The
That's the
fetish?
fetish
Yep,
ball.
yep. The
Oh,
holiday
okay.
fetish ball.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So there's very,
So
very unique things
yes,
that you will
so
see.
the fetish ball, the fetish ball was a combination of demonstrations and how do you say, just shenanigans. The biggest thing was the cigar tent. Like that was huge for me. We had in the parking lot at the location, we had a tent erected, and it was there primarily because he smokes cigars, and so I wanted to have this cigar demonstration. And a friend of mine flew from Denver to do the demonstration in the tent, and he, unbeknownst to me, he stored his cigar in a very unique place. He had it in something called a human humidor. Human humidor. You
That
might
perked up
ask,
Samantha
what is
Lavelle there.
Like, what in the world?
Yeah,
what is a human?
look at Samantha there. Look at it.
You about to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
bathroom in the chair.
So a human humidor in this instance was named Sassy Nikki, and Sassy Nikki held in her vagina a cigar in an acrylic tube. And so when her master requested his cigar, she very deftly put her hands between her legs and slid it right out.
Wow.
Wow.
Given
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. And that was
Wow.
only one. That was one of the things. We had someone demonstrate taking ash. There was a gentleman who was smoking a cigar. I forget. I don't remember if it was like 10 inches long, and he had been smoking it long enough to build up about 2 inches worth of ash. And when called upon, he gestured to his partner. She opened her mouth, stuck out her tongue. He placed his ash on her tongue. She pulled her tongue back in. She closed her mouth. She swallowed, stuck her tongue out. Ash was gone.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all at Casey's fetish ball.
Yeah. And
Lorenzo can even do the radio commercials for it, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a host of things like that. We had a tantric massage demonstration where both parties were nude and performed this really beautiful tantric massage. We had suspension where this young lady was suspended from this rack, and the woman who did it, she did all kinds of things to her while having her suspended. I mean, the audience was like so quiet you could hear a pin drop watching this. Then one of the other favorite moments of the night was again Sekou from Denver, and his slave Sassy Nikki, and he demonstrated flogging and whipping. And I should say the stage was wet after he was done flogging and whipping Nikki, and
Wow.
the moisture was captured in photos. So there are photos where you can literally see the squirting in midair.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Samantha, you got to get out more, girl.
Yeah. So we're just waiting for the world to really, really open up so we can go back to having those kinds of parties. I mean, because that's not to say that they don't happen in private settings, because they do. But the way I did it, I treated it like a 3-ring circus, because I literally had 3 different platforms.
That's awesome. I love circuses.
Yeah. And so events would happen on, platform 1 in section 2, and then section 3, and like literally your eyes would just go from left to right watching as things happened.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, we have 2 people for our guest list, I see right here.
Oh, good Lord.
That's the Circus Soleil erotica.
That's right. That's right.
That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. You can see a demonstration anywhere, but when you make it like a Cirque du Soleil event, that's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. Well, as we wrap up here with you guys, before we let you guys go, how do we get in touch with you guys on social media, websites, all these things?
So again, my website is casey-carter.com, casey-carter.com, and on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, you can find me at Casey at Night. Again,
Awesome.
That's Casey at Night. YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me on Twitter, you could do Lorenzo 2920 or Lorenzo 4016. If you're interested in like voiceovers, I'm doing a lot of work with people's websites, their podcasts. I'm doing one with a company now on anal training, voice to direct you on how to do that.
My God.
You know, it could be anything. It could, so.
Yeah,
you're interested in that,
I think if you're doing that, doing voiceovers for CNN is a little bit below your skill level.
He's gone now. He must be on CNN.
Yeah, I'm a little bit past that.
Well, you two have been a treat. I look forward to doing this more, and keep us updated on what you guys are doing, and we'd love to have you back on here in the next couple months or so. Oh, and DJ Dan shows up at the end. Oh, you're late, homie. You missed the best parts.
He's not a starter. He's a finisher. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but he made it. So we'll give him credit. He got here.
He got in here.
here.
He got in here.
I'm
Well,
really sorry, guys.
one thing that I do but before I do let you guys go, something that Lorenzo brought up that I just let slide, and I feel like an idiot now that Dan's here. I've got to have you tell this story. You said you worked security for Michael Jackson and Janet.
Yeah, we
Jackson?
did the Jacksons in D.C. I've done security for basically anyone has come into the city. Michael, of course, his inner circle, no one gets around. In fact, you'd be surprised. We guarded his double more than we guarded him. And people would chase us on the roadway and actually block traffic. And the double got out and danced on top of the van. And people swore Michael Jackson danced for them. But it was his double. And Michael always went out in a van. He never drove in a limo at all. You've never seen Michael in a limo. But he went the opposite way, and everybody chased the double around the city.
That's
No
all.
way, that's so cool.
That is great. So who are some of the people you've worked security for that you can mention?
Things that I've been on the detail with Prince, Jackie Onassis, Tom Selleck, anyone, artists, Frankie Beverly, Beyonce, P. Diddy, anyone that's come in the city, I've been, somewhere a part of some of the details that they've done.
Wow.
And then with law enforcement, of course, the inaugurations.
Oh, yeah.
The things that I can't even talk about.
Wow, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Who was the hardest person to run security for? Michael?
the No, because you don't really get to him. He doesn't hang around anybody. And when we did Prince, Prince wasn't talking to anybody back then. That was his days of not talking.
Yeah.
But he changed as time went on, where he actually interacted. But back then he didn't talk. But some of the hardest were when the promoters didn't really get along with them. Like Mariah Carey, he didn't get along with their promoters. Beyonce didn't get along with the promoters, just for the things that they wanted. But other than that, it's really not that bad. Is what you allow them to do. If you allow them to get away with it, then they'll keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like guarding Ms. Carter there at the at the Exoticas, and
Oh, forget about it. That's the toughest one that's going on right now.
Oh Lord! Half the time
You should
I
see
don't
the
know
crowd.
what's going on. I'm just walking.
Oh man, you should see it.
So when you go for instance to when you're guarding her at Exotica or some of these other events, how is that different than going with some of the other security details? Do you have to go in ahead of time and check everything over, or is it just she goes in, you make sure you go in ahead of her?
Yeah, for the other ones, you're doing pre-checks, exit routes. You're doing everything, checking with the staff, threat assessments, threats that have come in. You're going to check everything. The window escapes with doors open up to dead-end alleys. You want to know everything. But with me and Casey being the couple, when we're coming in, it's a whole different feel. I'm not just there to protect her. We're there together. Yeah. It just so happens that, things get a certain way, then it's on.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. That's putting it mildly. Because let me tell you, we went to a UFC fight here in Atlanta, and I thought somebody was about to get their neck broke. There was a gentleman. I went to the bathroom, and there was a gentleman apparently who popped up outside of the bathroom while I was inside. So when I come out, you know how your dog goes into that position when they sense danger? So I come out the bathroom like la-di-da-da-da, and I look at him, and he's in that position. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, okay, it's just him and one other guy. And he said, to this guy, he's like, do I know you? And the guy was like, well, and he approached him, and I saw Lorenzo like almost lunge toward this guy. And I'm watching security because we're in a VIP section. There's nobody in this area but us. And I'm watching security because they're watching us. And, Lorenzo's like, okay, well, I'm just trying to figure out, do you know me? Because, you keep following me around. The guy now wants to introduce himself. And I'm like, no, dude, no. And so, nothing happens. And he walks off and, goes to wherever he's going. And all I'm thinking is, please don't be sitting in the section we're sitting in. Just don't be sitting in the section we're sitting in. Sure enough, he was sitting in the section we were sitting in. He was a few rows ahead of us, and it was cool. But it was that moment where, like I said, I came out the bathroom and I immediately knew. And all I kept thinking was, don't say anything. Just stand there. Don't move. I knew to be in a certain position, to not move, not say anything, and to just let it play out. And once everything cleared up, it was like, okay, so can I go get a drink now? Like when it was done, But that was probably the most interesting experience. And that wasn't him being in the security mode. That was him, like he said, we were there together as a couple, but it turned into a security mode. And, he says to me later, he was like, I was trying to figure out if he was coming for you because he kept following me. There's all this wide open space. And, if Lorenzo moved 6 feet to the right, so did this guy. 6 feet to the left, so did this guy. So he was like, I was trying to figure out if he was there for you. because there was nobody else out here. And I'm thinking, why would he be there for me? I'm in the bathroom. And that was how his mind thought about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
You get that with security people. They're always on it. You know, I used to work with doormen. I used to run a club in town, and the doorman, even on their days off, if they'd come out for you for a drink, they'd be out looking. You know, you'd go into a bar, look around. You know, just see who's there, see if anyone's been loud or causing any trouble or looking a bit weird. I think it's sort of built into you, right?
Yeah, and especially with the law enforcement history.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I got 30-something years of that. So instinctively, I'm going to scan. I'm going to look. I'm going to see who's right-handed, left-handed. If they have a weapon, you know, threat things. It's just out of habit. You know, escape routes and all this kind of thing. So that's just a normal thing from experience.
It's actually a little too normal. It's a little too normal because sometimes I have to say, "Can you walk next to me? Stop walking behind me. Walk next to me."
That's cool. I'll be like, yeah, no, forget it. Walk behind me. You know, stick the suit on. Everywhere. And the earpiece, everything.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys are quite the pair. We have definitely enjoyed this, and so you guys are planning Exotica in New Jersey. Is that the one you're going to be attending?
Definitely Jersey, definitely DC.
God, what a mess that's gonna be. I just keep thinking Exotica in Washington D.C. Good God.
Well, you know, tell him, Lorenzo, technically it's not in DC.
Yeah, technically it's in Dulles, Virginia, which is outside of DC, at least a half an hour.
Oh, that's
So,
before the politicians turn up.
yeah,
There you go.
you might see something there.
Joe
Anywhere else. It's no telling.
Well, you guys have been great. Thanks for doing this, and I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. This has been fun. We definitely have to do this again.